Hello, universe. Welcome to GeoPoll Talks. And if you are new here, let me first introduce what GeoPoll is and the topic, or rather the discussion for today. GeoPoll is a leading research organization that connects brands, non-governmental organizations, and development partners with real-time insights from communities across emerging markets. With a reach of over 250 million mobile phone users worldwide, GeoPoll leverages innovative mobile-based methodologies to gather fast, reliable, and actionable data. From consumer trends and media measurement to humanitarian needs assessment and public opinion polls, GeoPoll helps organizations make data-driven decisions that create meaningful impacts. We are glad to have you today because we have an amazing topic whereby we are going to talk about AI Data Streams, a new product from GeoPoll. And today we are joined by two of our keynote speakers, my colleagues who we work closely here at GeoPoll to ensure that research, data collection, and also fulfilling the needs of the client. We are joined by two of my colleagues, and I'll have them introduce themselves. But first of all, let me introduce who's the one moderating this conversation. That is I, Newton Adika, the digital marketing and outreach specialist here at GeoPoll. And I am joined by two of my colleagues, Tabitha Muhoro and Ian Ndegwa. So let me just pass over the mic to Tabitha, who will introduce herself, and also Ian, who will introduce himself. Tabitha.
Thank you, Newton, for having me. My name is Tabitha Muhoro. I lead the product development team here at GeoPoll, where we work together to transform ideas and projects into impactful products. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tabitha, for that introduction. Let me pass on the mic to Ian to introduce himself.
Thank you, Newton, for having me here. My name is Ian Ndegwa. I work in the tech team, closely with Tabitha alongside other brilliant colleagues. And as mentioned, our job and our core mandate is to bring to life products that translate GeoPoll's goals and vision.
Wow, thank you so much, Ian and Tabitha. I would like to know, Tabitha, could you give us a broad overview of GeoPoll's AI data streams?
All right. So as GeoPoll is known to collect data, this has been our core mandate. So we collect data from through mobile phones, through our CATI application, where the interviews that you conduct are from real-world environment, structured conversations, interviews. We capture authentic speech patterns and dialects and most of all cultural nuances that do not normally happen in the day-to-day. So through these interviews, we are able to collect data for our clients, and our process would end there. So we collect the data, we submit to our client the output, in form of reports or statistics or whichever deliverable they would need, and we'd back our information in the cloud, and it would just sit there. The only time maybe we would access that information is we would need to do any analysis, statistics, or a client would revisit to need to know more information about the data that we have collected. And so that would sit there. And so this year, we needed to come up with a new product offering. And as GeoPoll is known for its innovation and robust technology, we decided to leverage on artificial intelligence, on how do we convert the audio data that we've collected over years in over 100 languages, storing over 500,000 hours of audio data. How can you convert this audio data to text? And so we embarked on a new project, which we fondly call AI Data Streams, where my team has been working on this project to ensure that we're able to convert the audio data to text. And so we came up with a system that would do this benchmarking on existing ASR models, and as with a vision to have our own internal model. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Tabitha. And if I can pass on the mic to Ian Ndegwa. Ian, Tabitha has shared a broad overview of what AI data streams is. Could you, in in-depth, walk us through how AI data streams actually work?
Yeah, gladly. So as a deep dive into what Tabitha has given an overview of, so GeoPoll and what we've used to set ourselves apart is we have an end-to-end system that transforms raw form conversation into AI-ready training data. This is not just in audio collection, it is the whole pipeline from audio all the way to data sets that are effective for machine learning applications. And so I'll take you through the process. It's a 6 or so step process, and I will explain what happens in each process and how we end up on the other side of this product. So we'll start with CATI survey collection. This is computer-assisted telephone interviewing, where we conduct millions of representative surveys annually. This is using trained operators who are fluent in the respondent's native language. So what happens here is that given that we have a background in research, and that is our core, what has been our core business for a while, is that we are good at sampling. So we have nationally representative sample across all demographics. And then we have a conversation, which is both structured, following a scripted format, while also allowing a natural process in respondents and how they do respond in whatever language they are conducting the interview in. We also have interviewees who have met a certain standard of training to enable a conversation flow that is both contextual and gives the correct information. And then we have real-time data storage and coding that ensures that we have the actual data that was collected in field and that it is correctly stored. Yeah. So this structured approach gives us a unique, authentic conversation, and also what you'd expect normal conversation to be, chatter, discussions around specific topics, and so on. So this gives the AI model to get trained with data that is both natural and contextually relevant. After doing the CATI process, that is the data collection, we do go into the next step, which is audio recording. So what happens to the audio recording is that it is consent-based. So every person who undertakes an interview that is recorded has given their consent to have the recording taken and stored, obviously according to all the regulations that are in every country that we undertake data collection in. We also ensure quality standards, professional grade recording and applications, and clear audio capture. We also have metadata, which is stored alongside the audio, making sure that everything that is recorded has a label and is traceable. So what this gives us an advantage is that unlike lab recordings, or rather a recording that has been done in the perfect condition, our audios include background noise, it includes interruptions, imperfections that are a hallmark of a natural conversation, and this enables our models to be trained and to handle actual conditions that are not perfect, but what represent the real world. From audio recording, the next step would be automated transcription. This had been alluded to before. So what we do is that we will take the audio stored into an existing ASR model, and this model will do the initial, will create the initial text versions of our recordings. So what happens here is that we have multi-language processing. So initial transcription across dozens of languages and dialects, which we do quality plugging at this point, where we're able to flag areas that need human intervention, audios that are audible enough, and so we're able to filter this from the initial ASR transcription. And you also have to have timestamps alignment where each transcription segment is precisely aligned with its audio. So this automated transcription, what it does and allows us to do is have a fast pass to make this process like we're able to comb through massive volumes of data efficiently, and then we're able to identify from this massive audio files what exactly needs human expertise. So that allows us to go quite fast in our process. The fourth step would be human enhancement, which has been mentioned that after we've done this with AI and ASR, we will involve human linguists. This allows us to be able to give context. These are people who are in field and are native to the language that is being spoken, so they give context in terms of the culture, the dialects, and quality as well, making sure that you're able to capture everything as expected. And then we'll move to the next step, which is audio diarization. What happens here is we have speaker identification, where we distinguish between the interviewer and the respondent. At the same time, we'll segment the audios into conversations that are split into individual speaking events. And then finally, we'll do matching transcripts, where each audio segment gets precisely matched with its corresponding text. So we do that, making sure that this audio is segmented in the correct way. So what this gives is clean audio text pairs when where you know exactly who said what and at what time. And this is essential in training models so that you're able to understand conversational dynamics and not just speech that is not interconnected. The last part would be data labeling and output. So what this does is making sure that all data that is collected has the demographic tags, that is the gender, the age group, the geographical location. We have the language, dialect, and accents marked. We also have the audio quality matrix, that is the bit rate, as well as noise levels noted. And then other contexts like the survey topic are also noted, so that any data that we store after transcription can be easily identifiable and pulled for whatever purpose it might be needed. After that, then we have the output formats that we have from all this data. It could be a normal CSV file for traditional structured data formats that is common. We also have JSONs, which can be used for modern applications. We also have API integrations for any organization, company that might want to be directly linked to the pipeline. And we are also working every day on custom formats for any client and whatever they might need. So basically, Newton, that is the structure and the flow of what we do to move from having an audio to having a transcription and trainable data.
Thank you so much, Ian, for that walkthrough on how AI data streams actually work, from its initial process of actually having the audio that is stored in the cloud all the way to the transcribed data that leads to the client. Thank you so much, Ian, for that. If I can pass on this next question to Tabitha. Tabitha, if I can ask you, what role do you think this product actually plays, and what value does it bring?
Okay, so I'd say the role that GeoPoll brings to itself and also to the world as a whole is that we are taking responsibility upon ourselves, where we are bridging the data gap that is there by prioritizing voices from the underserved and underrepresented regions in the world. This is from Asia, Latin America, and Africa. The other thing I would say is that we are making it possible. So we are making it possible for anybody at an individual level to be able to use AI. It can be from a young lady seated in Madagascar speaking Malagasy, and they would want to use AI, and they are not from the from the dominant languages, and the only language they understand is Malagasy. So they'd be able to prompt any AI using that language, and they'll receive feedback, and they will feel included, and they'll be part of the conversation. It can be anyone. As a young man seated in Senegal speaks Wolof. Wolof is a very difficult language. It is spoken, it is not written. And so because of the low data accuracy and availability that is there in Wolof, we as GeoPoll are training our model using Wolof, that young man seated there in Senegal can query the AI and they'll be able to get response. And in that case, so I'd say the role GeoPoll is playing in this is responsible, taking up it upon itself as being responsible and making it possible for everyone to use AI. In terms of value, I would say we are training our model on how people actually speak and not just how they write. Our spoken data set capture real-world conversation, dialects, informal speech, and ensuring higher translation accuracy in African languages. The other thing I would say is that our data sets originates from live structured surveys where people respond in their native dialects and accents, exactly how languages are used in their natural context and speech. So this means a higher contextual translation accuracy. So that which will be very useful when training your LLMs. The other thing I think I would say is while training the ASRs, where we'll have high accuracy data for the underrepresented languages, where now it can be the model that we give out there will be reliable in use based on the models that are currently there. I would say right now the models that are currently there, in my opinion, I am yet to see one that is, I would say, 100%, or one that has a very good word error rate. We are training our models to ensure that we have a word error rate, combining the base model that we're going to get from any existing ASR, combining with what our human transcription takes, and then we train our model. So if we combine all this, we get very high accurate data. The other value I think that you're going to bring, we'll be able to advance generative voice, whereby now there will be speech data that generative voice can actually benchmark on based on the ready to use pre-labeled data that we'll already have gotten. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tabitha, for that. And as many would have actually realized is that Wolof is actually a spoken language, and I didn't know that it's not quite written, and it's good information that I've actually picked from this conversation, and also the role that AI data stream reaches to ensure that that transcribed data actually reaches the clients, and actually the output of the AI data streams and the value that it brings. If I can then shoot this question to both of you, and probably, Ian, you can chime in next and let us know what is next for AI data streams.
Thank you, Nito. I will tackle this from an angle of what GeoPoll and what is next specifically for GeoPoll. And the way I see it and how I think we'll fit into this conversation is expanding our coverage. We've mentioned, and it has been talked here before, about wanting AI to reach even the most remote place. So our first goal will be to expand our coverage as much as possible. So we want to reach collecting data in the most remote, in the most obscure languages that we have, both in Africa, Asia, and Latin American regions. So increase the hours and increase transcribable data that gives out AI trainable data for making sure that we continuously improve who AI and who all these language models serve. So our first goal will be to continue expanding our coverage. Our second goal would be improving the quality of this data, making sure that we are working on improving the clarity of our audio, context matching, making sure that you're capturing everything correctly, labeling and segmenting all this data. So that is part of our major goals. The second one will be model training to increase accuracy of a number of widely spoken languages, as well as any other language that we continue tackling, making sure that our models that we keep on training by the data that we're transcribing increase their accuracy and aim to have everything above, say, 80% and above, making sure we are above all market available models that are there. We also intend to be able to have this data available to different users, able to segment the data to serve different needs, making sure that we are able to have custom solutions to different clients or whoever might need the data. Could it be an individual? Could it be an organization? Could it be any other group of people who will need to have good data that enables them to serve their customers and the general public?
Thank you so much, Ian, for that. And as we are nearly closing this conversation, again, let me just throw this final question to Tabitha. So, Tabitha, could you let us know what is the future of this product from GeoPoll?
So, where we sit currently is our mandate currently that we've taken upon ourselves is to make sure that we do train and continue training as many languages as we can to make sure that those underserved and underrepresented regions are covered and are included in this conversation. No one is left behind in using this very good technology, which is artificial intelligence in their day-to-day. So make sure that we train. The second point that I'd like to make is we cannot by any means eliminate the human element, because the human element understands the language, understands the nuances, and they need to be part of this conversation where they are correcting what the models are giving us, making sure that we are keeping in the picture how it actually looks on the ground. So the second one is, by all means, we need to make sure that we include the human element as part of this process that we are working on. And the third one, I'd say, we're still calling upon any like-minded partnership organization, academia, to make sure that they are either partnering with us together on this project, and even as they're training their models separately. I know we are all doing it for a common good and a common cause. So those are the three that I would say is currently our near future outlook. Training the models, keep training and retraining the models. 2, the human element cannot be negated or left out. And the third one, making sure that we are partnering even at an individual level with GeoPoll, or even by themselves working towards a common cause. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tabitha, for that. And we are now in the end of this session, and it has been an amazing conversation with Tabitha Muhoro, the Director of Product Development here at GeoPoll, and Ian Ndegwa, Manager Product Development here at GeoPoll. And thank you so much for giving us the insights and giving us the broad overview of what the new product from GeoPoll is, that is the AI Data Streams. Thank you so much, Tabitha and Ian.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Great. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to having more of this conversation, and keep it here at GeoPoll Talks, whereby you will get more information regarding data, research, and AI, and technology that GeoPoll offers. Have a good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And thank you for listening to GeoPoll Talks. Thank you.